Tonight, Hurricane Irma's destructive force hits Florida, while survivors in the Caribbean count their losses. Thousands rally in support of same-sex marriage in Sydney as the Prime Minister makes the case for the yes vote. Country Liberals vote for change in an effort to rebuild the party after last year's election wipeout. And fighting fire with fire, the project keeping Indigenous rangers on country and stopping devastating bushfires. Good evening, Amy Culpitt with ABC News. Florida's population of 20 million is on edge as Hurricane Irma bears down on the state after cutting a path of destruction through the Caribbean. Irma weakened after smashing into Cuba, but has since regained strength and is currently a Category 4 storm. In what's now the biggest evacuation in US history, millions have been told to leave their homes, and those that remain are under a strict curfew. This is the latest satellite picture from the area. You can see the size and force of the system. It's hovering over the Florida Keys right now and is beginning to make its way toward the western side of the state. Our coverage begins with North America correspondent Connor Duffy, who is in Miami.
Irma's fury is transforming the Sunshine State.
It's been 48 hours since a deadly 8.1 magnitude quake struck off Mexico's southern coast. More than 90 people are known to have been killed, and the search continues to find anyone alive beneath the rubble. Our chief foreign correspondent, Philip Williams, has travelled to the town of Tonala in Mexico.
In the midst of incredible beauty, the searing pain of shared grief.
The Country Liberals have voted for wide-ranging changes at the party's annual conference this weekend as it tries to rebuild itself in the wake of last year's election wipeout. Members who defected to the crossbench before the 2016 election won't be invited back to the party, and anyone who lost their seat last year will have their previous behaviour and political standing assessed if they want to run for pre-selection again. A push to ban the burqa has been narrowly defeated at the Nationals' annual party conference in Canberra. Queensland MP George Christensen attempted to have the motion put up for formal debate, but was voted down 51 votes to 55. Coming up, we take you to Arnhem Land, where Indigenous rangers are using fire to protect country and help the environment. Also tonight, our special report from inside Iraq.
I'm Sophie McNeil in Fallujah, Iraq. Islamic State was defeated here more than a year ago, but thousands of families are still unable to return to their homes. Across this country, more than 3.3 million people are still displaced, as funding shortages pose a huge challenge to reconstruction efforts.
Lawyers are becoming increasingly concerned about the growing number of deportations planned by the Department of Immigration and Border Protection. Last week, the ABC highlighted the case of an elderly Indian woman who faces deportation because she has a dependent daughter with a disability. Tonight, a Melbourne family holds fears for their intellectually disabled son after he was secretly taken to a detention centre in Western Australia last month.
It's a frustrating time for Neil Martin.
Indigenous people have been harnessing fire for thousands of years to protect and reinvigorate the country. Now, Aboriginal rangers in the Northern Territory are taking it further, fusing their ancient practices with modern science to create the world's first carbon project using fire. The process is now widely used across the Northern Belt of Australia, and pastoralists are reaping the benefits.
In the isolated lands of the West Arnhem region, science and tradition find synergy.
Now for a quick look at the temperatures around the Territory. A sunny and warm day throughout. Currently in Darwin it's 32 degrees, 34 in Katherine, in Alice Springs it's 27 and 30 in Tennant Creek. And we'll have a full report a little later in the bulletin. Holden car lovers were in their element today in Darwin's rural area at a car show dedicated to the iconic Australian brand. Die-hard fans got the chance to get up close and personal with dozens of cars from across the generations. Even young enthusiasts got their fill, and it was all for a good cause. The West Coast Eagles are celebrating one of the most incredible AFL finals wins in history, beating Port Adelaide by 2 points in extraordinary circumstances. With scores level at the end of the game, extra time decided the result for just the 3rd time ever. The Eagles scoring the match-winning goal after the siren.
Living to see another day, and only just, the Eagles return to Perth, still basking in the glow of a remarkable elimination final win.
So week 2 of the finals will look like this. Geelong will play host to the Swans at the MCG on Friday night. And after that thriller last night, West Coast will head to Sydney to take on GWS on Saturday. The winners will meet Adelaide and Richmond in the preliminary finals in a fortnight. Defending premiers Cronulla have been knocked out of the NRL finals in dramatic fashion, losing to North Queensland by a single point after extra time. The Sharks looked in control for the majority of the match, but could not find the big plays when it mattered most.
With the season on the line for both teams, there was always going to be some early nerves and tough calls.
Now to the weather. Tonight's viewer pick was sent in by Brian Harty. A dry and sunny day across the territory today after some early morning fog over the eastern top end. 35 the top in Darwin and the Tiwis, hot in Jabiru and Bachelor, both reaching 36 degrees. Looking further south, 35 the top in Katherine and Wadeye, while in Central Australia, Alice Springs had a top of 28 degrees, 31 the top for Tennant Creek and Ulara. Looking around the country, it reached 21 degrees in Perth and Adelaide, cold in Hobart, a top of just 15, much more pleasant in Brisbane, 24 the top there. Cloud over Queensland cleared during the day, while a band associated with a trough moved across South Australia. A high over the southeast of the country is slowly moving east, while a trough over Western Australia approaches the territory. Interstate tomorrow, some rain in Perth, Melbourne and Hobart, sunny in Brisbane, cloud for Sydney and Canberra. To our north, rain expected in Singapore and Bali, while it will be sunny and warm in Port Moresby. Back home, it's starting to heat up in Central Australia, Ulara and Tennant Creek, both with tops of 34 degrees, Alice Springs with a top of 32. Further north, it'll be hot in Katherine and Bullman with tops of 36 degrees, cooler in Nhulunbuy, 31. Sunny in Darwin, 34, 34 also the top for Wadeye, while Bachelor and Jabiru will both reach 36 degrees. There's a severe fire danger forecast for the Darwin and Adelaide River districts. The morning high tide will be at 8:49, seas off Darwin to 1 metre with winds to 15 knots. Sunrise and sunset both at 6:43. Generally sunny with 1 or 2 showers about the north coast. We can expect some cloud cover midweek in Darwin with hotter temperatures headed into the weekend. And becoming warmer in the south on Tuesday with a top of 34, ahead of a southeasterly change moving into the south on Tuesday night, dropping maximum temperatures from Wednesday. And that's ABC News this Sunday night. Good night.